Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 20th of November 2019 to talk about everything that went down tonight on NXT on the USA Network. I thought tonight's show was a really good, interesting show. Of course, they had all the different roster members from Raw and SmackDown on the show, so that was going to make it more of an interesting show. And because of that, that is why we're doing the NXT review tonight and not tomorrow, because going into this show, I just felt like there was more hype and more interest in NXT for, hey, what main roster superstars can show up and what are we going to get going out of this show as far as War Games goes and as far as Survivor Series goes. Now, just looking at the live chat, I see a couple of you, like El Joko, saying, hey, Velveteen Dream can be the fourth member on Team Ciampa. No, he can't, because he is injured with a back injury, out of action. Triple H did say this morning during the NXT conference call that they have an epic surprise for who's going to be that fourth member, and that fourth member will not be revealed until the day of TakeOver. So we won't know who the final member of Team Ciampa is in War Games until basically War Games, probably. They may announce it earlier in the day. They may announce it earlier in that show, but we will not know until Saturday who's rounding out Team Ciampa. And Triple H did, tell us that today with us in the live chat. We've got the gaming montage. We've got Jason Wilkinson. We've got D-Trix42, Woken King Slender, Sinclair Saturday, and so many more of you. As, like I said, I liked tonight's NXT. I thought it was a really good show. I didn't really watch much of AEW. I caught a couple things, like the big title match set up for next week, who won the Battle Royal. But other than that, I didn't really see too much. I saw the opening match. But we're not here to talk AEW. We'll talk AEW tomorrow night. Let's talk NXT. So, the open door policy kicked off tonight with the man Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, coming down to the ring. Becky Lynch opened the show doing the Goldberg routine of being led to gorilla position by a team of security. Crowd was hot for Becky Lynch here as she entered into the building, entered into the arena area, and cut her promo. Very soft-spoken at first. She remarked that it had been a while since she was in NXT and walked down that ramp. Then she yelled, "It's been a while since you watched me kick someone's ass live. Well, you won't have to wait much longer." Lynch said that she's coming to NXT this week regardless of anything else going on. She said that all that's on her mind is the triple threat match with the other champions this coming Sunday at Survivor Series. She said on SmackDown, Bayley is crying like a teenage girl with an old lady haircut. And then Lynch went on to say that she destroyed all of Bayley's buddies, except the blue-haired one that's holding her back. Lynch said that it was not her fault Bayley is the champ, while Lynch herself is the champ. I don't understand that line. Lynch then called out the NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler. Lynch said that she was here to remind her just who the hell she was. Lynch said that she was in Baszler's ring, under her lights, on her show, and what is she going to do about it? But instead of Shayna, out would come a Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley would enter to confront Becky Lynch. She said, "So you're the man." And Becky said, "Let's see if you've got a set of balls." Two then faced off and had a match that was going pretty good till it ended in a no contest. Early on, the fight quickly spilled outside of the ring where Ripley had Lynch in an electric chair position. Ripley then dropped her on the apron before commercial break. Ripley worked over Lynch during the commercial. Just after the show returned from break, Lynch started to work a comeback until Ripley slammed her off the top turnbuckle. Lynch, a moment later, countered with an inverted DDT for a double down. They traded strikes until Ripley got a near fall attempt. The man answered back with an inside cradle for a 2. Lynch followed it up with a flying leg drop off the middle rope for another 2. Lynch then went to apply her armbar finisher, the disarmor, but Ripley fought back and deadlift powerbombed her. They then went into a superplex spot, and the crowd chanted NXT as both laid on the mat, selling the superplex. The horsewomen then would run down, Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke. They would run down and attack both Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, with the match, like I stated earlier, ending in a no contest. They then fought off and cleaned house. Ripley and Lynch stood tall as I guess you could call them the horsewomen ran away. So the gaming montage asks here, do you think Triple H will be the fourth member in War Games? Not a chance. Not at all. Triple H also said this morning on the conference call that he will not wrestle in NXT. That NXT is for the new, young talent. He is not a new or young talent. He made it clear that because he was asked if he would join Team NXT at Survivor Series, he said no, because I'm not a young, new guy in NXT. So with him saying that, he's not going to be the final member in War Games. Triple H ain't doing a War Games match anyways at his age. I mean, he could. Probably still in great shape and well enough to do so. But he ain't going to be in War Games. No, not at all. So a vignette played highlighting the WWE United Kingdom, or the NXT UK champion, Kaylee Ray. And they talked about and showed her run-in from last week in the main event. And then out would come Kona Reeves. Kona Reeves would walk down the ramp. As he was walking towards, I don't know exactly why he wasn't going the way of the steps, but the opposite way of where the ring steps sit, towards the camera, the hard cam, all of a sudden, you just see this red blur fly in out of frame, kick Kona Reeves, I guess in the back. He stands up and it was Ricochet. Freaking shot himself at Kona Reeves like a missile. Like a rocket. He then gets into the ring, and Matt Riddle comes out. Apparently Matt Riddle was, quote-unquote, supposed to take on Kona Reeves tonight. Matt gets in the ring. He looks at Ricochet. Ricochet looks at him. The two take their shirts off and match. And hell of a match. So Riddle came out as the aggressor here first, but Ricochet kept countering. Ricochet flew around and divided the ropes. Riddle fought back as they began trading near falls. This got really good, really fast. Ricochet looked like the old Ricochet. Fans were super into seeing Ricochet, as they haven't seen him probably, since March? Since Mania, we haven't seen Ricochet really in NXT. So the two then were down at one point because Ricochet took just an amazing high-angle German suplex. And then Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro would run down. Cause a distraction, not at first, interfere. Riddle was unable to tie Ricochet in a crucifix pin. Just after the pin, when Matt Riddle won, Nakamura and Cesaro would attack. Much like the previous bout on the show, the two were in the match, actually teamed up to attack their attackers. Riddle displaced Cesaro, and then Ricochet springboarded. Ricochet literally climbed on the top rope as Cesaro was in the crowd. Ricochet jumped from the top rope over the guardrail and cross-bodied Cesaro in the crowd. There was like an open spot where no one was sitting, no chairs or anything set. Holy crap. What a dive by Ricochet. It was just, he flew. They call him a superhero. He was a superhero tonight. Finn Balor would then run down and attack Matt Riddle. Balor gave him a double stomp, but Riddle answered back with a ripcord knee. Balor powdered, and then they had a stare down. I think this match is going to be amazing. Matt Riddle versus Finn Balor at the pay-per-view or the takeover, whatever you want to call it. Hell yeah. Looking at the text messages here. This person says, Team NXT might have Ciampa, Forgotten Sons, Pete Dunne, Keith Lee, and the female team may have Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai. Well, first off, you say Ciampa, Forgotten Sons, Pete Dunne, Keith Lee. That's 6. You got to cut somebody out there, buddy. Forgotten Sons are not going to be on Team NXT. I highly, highly doubt Forgotten Sons are on Team NXT for Survivor Series. If I had to pick who's going to be on Team NXT for Survivor Series, I would go Finn Balor, Tommaso Ciampa, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, Donovan Dijakovic, or Dominik Dijakovic, whichever it is. That's what I would pick, those 5. Forgotten Sons, no. As far as your women, you say Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox. That makes sense. So, going forward, we got the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Undisputed Era, in a non-title match against the Revival. We started off slow, as you usually do in a Revival match. Not, a negative. They just like to start their matches slow because they use methodical, real wrestling tactics. O'Reilly and Wilder did a suplex spot over the ropes to the floor before a commercial break. When the show returned, Undisputed Era was working over Dash Wilder. Once again, the aggressors in the match were the NXT wrestlers. That was a trend throughout this show. Wilder was finally able to get separation, but he crawled to the wrong corner. O'Reilly was able to dropkick Dawson off the apron to block a tag. O'Reilly and Fish then gave Wilder the axe and smash for a near fall. Undisputed Era worked over Wilder through another commercial break. Wilder was finally able to get the hot tag just as the show returned. Dawson was finally in, Scott Dawson, and he began to clean house, even though Fish tried to trip him up. Dawson did a flying diving headbutt for a 2 count. Fish, with an O'Connor roll, only got a 2 off of this. Wilder assisted with an uppercut so Dawson could give a Fish a brainbuster for 2.5. O'Reilly saved Fish from an attempted superplex by Dawson, but O'Reilly then took a DDT on the apron from Wilder. Dawson superplexed Fish, and then they did the Power and Glory finish as Wilder followed with a splash off the top. Fish somehow kicked out, though. Dawson went for high-risk moves here, and Fish cut him off with a kick. Undisputed Era went to team up on Dawson, but Wilder made the save. Fish took the Shatter Machine. O'Reilly broke up the pin, but by dragging Dawson out of the ring. Wilder was posted and hit with a flying knee off the apron by O'Reilly. Fantastic flying knee netted O'Reilly for the near fall. Dawson kicked out, though. Dawson then hit a cradle on Fish for 2, and then Fish mowed him down here for Kaylee Ray. She took on Dakota Kai, who fortunately just did not make it to NXT War Games as far as being on Team Ripley. So Kai was a house of fire early. Ray went for a glory bomb, but Kai countered with a code red for a 2. Ray soon cut her off. Ray used a gourd buster, and she targeted Kai's leg at one point. Kai delivered a double stomp and started a comeback. On the floor, Kai sent Ray to the ring steps. Back in the ring, Ray raked the eyes and hit a super kick. Ray then executed a gory bomb to score the victory over Dakota Kai. So Dakota Kai is really just, to me, the one girl that they just keep using when someone needs to pick up a victory. She's someone that she can go out there and have basically a good match with anybody. But she's not, I guess you can say, someone that they're pushing. So she can take the loss. But it's going to be like, how many times can she lose before people really just don't care? That's the big thing. So after the bell, women from Team SmackDown and Raw ran down. Some of the wrestlers from NXT also ran down as backup. We then saw a Gordon Solie Pier 6. Too many people to keep track of at this point. Kairi Sane delivered a flying elbow on, I think it was Tegan Nox. Then she briefly faced off with Io Shirai for a great tease. Nikki Cross then ran down swinging a trash can lid at everybody. She cleared the ring and stood tall as the smoke cleared. Then we got the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, taking on Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake of the Forgotten Sons. And here's my thing. If you were putting the Forgotten Sons on Team NXT, you wouldn't have had them get just killed by the Viking Raiders tonight. You would have wanted them to look good going into NXT or going into Survivor Series. So, yeah, there's absolutely no way they're going to be on Team NXT. No way. So the Viking Raiders dominated at the start as they double-teamed Blake. Forgotten Sons soon turned the tide as they got the heat on Eric. Ivar got a hot tag and ran wild before a commercial break. Ivar was running wild after the break as well. The Viking Raiders dismantled the Forgotten Sons. Ivar covered Blake, but Jackson Riker put Blake's foot on the bottom rope. Eric confronted Riker and Cutler posted him. Forgotten Sons used double-team clusters for a near fall on Ivar. Eric tagged in and ran wild, only for Jackson Riker to hit him from the outside. Cutler then gave Eric a DVD on the apron. Riker interfered again, and this time the referee finally ejected him from ringside. Ivar then wiped out Riker with a tope. Blake did a Frankensteiner to send Ivar into both Eric and Cutler. This then led to a stalemate and a slugfest. There were dueling cartwheel spots. Ivar with a handspring back elbow to the Forgotten Sons. The Raiders then executed their finisher on Steve Cutler to pick up the victory. And they got a video package profiling Adam Cole and the NXT champion. They talked about War Games and the triple threat number one contender match at War Games. We will see Pete Dunne, Killian Dane, and Damian Priest all battling it out for basically the chance to face Adam Cole for the NXT title 24 hours later at Survivor Series. We do have a text message here. If you guys want to send in a text message, you can do so at 510-906-1341. Send in a text message to get it read on the air here. Also, if you want to make sure your comments in the chat get read, you can send a super chat donation to make sure that your comment does get highlighted. Person says, who do you think will be the final member in War Games? I have no clue. I've heard probably way too many rumors to even try to suggest, or not really suggest, but predict. So, I mean, I've heard everything from not Matt Riddle, Marty Scurll, John Morrison. I've heard Kevin Owens. I've heard too many names. Some I don't even want to say because I don't believe that they could ever have been true. So, just saying. But with that, let's take a quick break before we talk about the main event. And why is this not going? Give me 1 second, guys. I see what happened here. Give me just 2 seconds, guys. I'm just reading the chat while we set this up. Henry McKenna Carvalho with a good suggestion. He says, why not Tyler Bate? That would be cool. Get someone from NXT UK, since they've got someone from NXT UK on the women's side. Yes, Broken Dreams. I believe Marty Scurll may be a free agent as of right now, or the 1st of December. I've heard both, so I'm not 100% sure when his contract is up with Ring of Honor. Could have been as early as today, the 20th, but it may also not be till December 1st. So, like I said, I've heard both, and both were kind of confirmed and not confirmed at the same time. So, we'll see what happens. But with that,
with the holidays rolling around, we want to make sure as many children as possible do not go without under their tree this Christmas morning. We here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited are partnering with local organizations that help less fortunate and needy families in what we call Operation Santa Drop. Our goal is to raise as much money as possible to buy toys, clothes, stuffed animals, and more to bring to those families in need so at least one less child goes without this Christmas. If you would like to donate, you can do so at the link in the description below or by going to bit.ly/OpSantaDrop to help a child of this holiday season. Thank you in advance, and let's make this Christmas better for those in need. No child should think Santa didn't come.
So with that, as we move on to talk about the main event, and that's when things got crazy. Henry, I didn't say Marty Scurll's NXT bound. I've just heard that there's a good possibility. Well, I don't want to say good possibility. There's a possibility that he can sign with the NXT, but there's probably a better possibility that he can sign with AEW. Now, Fonzie805 says 1st of December. So, here's what I've heard. Marty Scurll's contract was originally scheduled to expire at the end of November. So, either November 30th or December 1st, whatever you want to look at it. But because Ring of Honor has not ran a show since, I want to say, like, the first weekend of this month, there may be a clause where he can actually get out a week or two early. That's what I've heard. Don't quote me on that because, like I said, it wasn't 100% confirmed to me, but there is a good chance that as of today, Marty Scurll could have become a free agent. We saw a tease on Being the Elite this past Monday where his picture was shown in a photo. But there's also major interest from WWE. Ruby Wendekchenk, his girlfriend is Deonna Purrazzo, who is in NXT. Now, Kristen McKnight, you say Marty's joining his girlfriend. You don't know that. Did Britt Baker join her boyfriend in NXT? No, she went and signed with AEW. Marty could easily go sign with AEW. Taya Valkyrie is in Impact. She recently did an interview saying that, yeah, my husband is no longer with Impact, and it's okay if we end up working for different promotions, because he's rumored to be coming to WWE. So, just because people are an item, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, doesn't mean they have to be in the same promotion. So early on in this match, it was Adam Cole versus Dominik Dijakovic in a ladder match for the War Games advantage. They traded strikes early before going for a ladder. Dijakovic threw a lariat and went to grab a ladder. Instead of grabbing the one already propped up at ringside, he grabbed one from underneath the ring for some reason. Cole then dropkicked the ladder right into his face. Dijakovic then started smacking Cole with a ladder when they got back in the ring. Cole bumped several times for the ladder before Dijakovic went to climb. Cole cut him off and hit him with a super kick. Cole targeted the leg and wrapped Dijakovic's leg around the ring post. Cole worked over Dijakovic during a commercial break, as we saw on the split screen. Couldn't really tell exactly what was all going on because the split screen's so small. Dijakovic reversed a suplex, and Cole sold it big. Dijakovic went to climb the ladder, and Cole pulled another ladder from underneath the ring. They're having a tug-of-war with the ladder as the show returned from commercial. Cole countered an attempted suplex with a Ushigoroshi. Dijakovic chokeslammed Cole off the ladder onto another ladder propped up in the corner. Dijakovic went for the Feast Your Eyes, but Cole escaped and jumped on a ladder. He then executed the Panama Sunrise. Cole went to climb, but Dijakovic cut him off. Dijakovic, on one foot, selling his knee, went up the ladder. Cole shot up the ladder on the other side and met him up there. Both grabbed the briefcase before fighting over it. Cole swung the briefcase into Dijakovic, who fell off the ladder onto a bridged ladder. Cole then unhooked the briefcase, won the match. Very obvious, because in War Games, it's better when the heels get the advantage and not the baby faces. It just makes more sense. Does that mean the baby face is going to double team the heel? No, it makes more sense when the heel's double teaming the baby face, so that way when the baby face's partner finally comes out to save him, it's a bigger deal. So the rest of Undisputed Era would walk down to ringside, but they were met basically with two different gangs, a blue gang from SmackDown and a red gang from Raw. And the Undisputed Era didn't back down. They said, screw it, come at us, guys. And they all brawled. More NXT guys started pouring out. Drew McIntyre then gave Dominik Dijakovic what you would have thought was just a normal Claymore kick, but the way Dominik Dijakovic sold this and just flipped himself inside out was tremendous. Keith Lee then ran in, caught McIntyre with a powerbomb so hard that McIntyre bounced off of the mat about 2 feet. Lee then faced off with Ivar. Both men then had the same idea. Let's not hurt each other. Let's run across this ring and dive onto the pile of guys sitting out there fighting. Adam Cole was then in the ring all by his lonesome, standing tall, thinking, I'm the sole survivor. Ain't nobody going to come at. And as he turns around, he gets super kicked by Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins was measuring him up for a stomp when the music of Tommaso Ciampa would then play. Cole rolled out to safety, but he wasn't really safe. Ciampa came down to the ring and teased getting in the ring to go at it with Rollins, but instead he walked back down the steps. He walked down the steps and then ran at Adam Cole, the NXT champion, at ringside and just kneed him right in the face hard. Kneed this MFer, this motherfucker, right in the face. So as he does so, the crowd starts chanting. Hold on, I have it. What? Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. It looked like there was an issue with the stream here, but I guess there's not. Okay, cool. We're good now. So as Ciampa that is, hits Adam Cole in the face with his knee, the crowd starts chanting, that's not cool. Because they wanted brand supremacy tonight. They wanted all the NXT people to work together. Ciampa finally got in the ring and just went at it with Seth Rollins as a show went off the air. Now, I know what you're going to say when I make this next comment. I liked the show closing brawl. But you're going to say, but Tim, you didn't like it on the go home for AEW Full Gear. No, I didn't. Because this brawl was done better. I don't like brawls when you just have a bunch of guys out there and you're trying to build up a bunch of matches at once. This was a brawl to build up Survivor Series. One match. The men's 5-on-5-on-5. When they did the brawl in AEW, it was to build up Omega Moxley, to build up Jericho Cody, to build up the Bucks and Proud and Powerful. And it's like, where do you pay attention to? I don't know. I didn't like the way they did it. I thought there was way too much done. Why did Nick Jackson need to jump off the stage just to do it? But, yeah, Seth did get a lot of boos tonight. See you guys in the chat saying that. Yeah, Seth did get a good amount of boos. Got a couple text messages. A lot of you think Morrison's going to be that final member on Team Ciampa. I mean, it's possible. But I find John Morrison just a little too big of a star to go to NXT. I feel like he's one of those guys that can skip NXT like AJ Styles did. Plus, it's almost like he's not having to skip NXT. He's just going back to where he was last time he was in the company. He was already a main roster superstar before. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens going forward with NXT War Games on Saturday. Then NXT will be represented at Survivor Series on Sunday. It's going to be a hell of a weekend, guys. A hell of a weekend. And with that, it's time to wrap things up here. You can follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, where we don't really post much, just search Pro Wrestling Unlimited. You can follow me basically everywhere at Timmy Buddy. And we will be back tomorrow night talking tonight's All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling Dynamite did come to us tonight from Indianapolis. And we'll give you a full rundown of everything that went on tonight, I guess you can say, tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching live. Thank you guys for watching later right here on YouTube. And thank you for listening on podcast services all around the world. See you tomorrow. Have a good night.